Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for tuning in to Canal Algérie's nightly news. To the headlines. The President of the Republic puts forward the importance to attach to the national community via the diplomatic channels while chairing the Council of Ministers. In a phone call, the President of the Republic reviews with his Portuguese counterpart ways and means to promoting bilateral cooperation. The Army General Saïd Chingriha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, supervises a graduation ceremony at the War Higher School. Welcome again. First off, the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense Abdelmajid Tebboune, chaired on Sunday a meeting of the Council of Ministers. The meeting was dedicated to a bill to regulate and develop physical and sports activities and two presentations on the role of Algérie Post in supporting the generalization of financial services and electronic payment, the strategy for using water purification plants in agricultural, irrigation and industry, in addition to preparations for the 2024 Olympic Games. After opening the meeting and listening to the agenda and a presentation of the activity of the government presented by the Prime Minister, the President of the Republic gave the following instructions, orders and activities. The Council of the Ministers approved a draft bill related to organizing physical and sports activities aimed at developing and better supervising various sports at the national, regional and international levels. Concerning preparations for the 2024 Olympic Games, the President of the Republic instructed the Minister of Youth and Sports to create all the necessary conditions and to mobilize all necessary means for Algerian athletes participating in this global event to be up to Algeria's reputation. Regarding the development of branches of medicine schools, the President stressed that providing the adequate supervision is necessary for the progress of higher education and scientific research. Furthermore, the President ordered that the enrollment in these branches to be in accordance with the same conditions adopted in central colleges. The aim of the procedure should be to facilitate the access of students of scientific disciplines and reduce pressure on central colleges on one hand and improve the quality of training on the other hand. Regarding the role of Algérie Post in supporting the generalization of financial services and electronic payment, the President of the Republic gave directives to improve the level of services and work to overcome all technical problems related to the internet flow. The President also ordered the expansion of the use of the optical fiber by the end of 2024. He also stressed the need to give importance to the issue of information security and to deal with it as a matter of national sovereignty, protected by the people of Algeria, notably national competences, to keep pace with transformation taking place in the field. As for the use of water purification plants in agricultural, irrigation and industry, the President of the Republic scrutinized the sector and issued the necessary measures to make it cope with the ongoing challenges. After listening to a presentation by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the national community abroad on the situation of our community, the President of the Republic insisted that the state attaches utmost importance to constantly listening to the concerns of our community and taking care of them through diplomatic channels within the framework of the President's commitment to work to improve the conditions of the Algerian community in various cultural and social fields and facilitate the return of Algerian competences, especially with the availability of conditions for launching a promising economic development to the benefit of the Algerian people, hailing in this regard the performance of the Foreign Minister to maintain bridges between our community and their homeland. The Council of Ministers concluded its meeting by approving decrees that include the termination of duties in senior positions in the state. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, held a phone call with the Portuguese President, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, regarding means to promote bilateral relations binding the two friendly countries in different fields. The two presidents also reviewed a number of current issues of common interest, notably the Algerian mediation and the Ukrainian-Russian crisis, where they both agreed on a meeting to be scheduled later. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, also held a phone conversation with the Italian President, Sergio Mattarella, during which both presidents discussed a set of issues related to the strong-rooted bilateral relations that bind the two brotherly peoples and means to promote it, as well as the possibility of the President's attendance of two important events to be hosted by Italy, first in July and the second in November. Both presidents reviewed regional and international issues of common interest, which are for the benefit of the region and its stability, in addition to the Algerian mediation and the Ukrainian-Russian crisis. Army General Said Chengriha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, supervised on Sunday graduation ceremony at the Higher School of War, marking the end of a successful training at this prestigious military school. Details with Mina Sakabash.
After the welcoming ceremony, the Army General held a meeting with officials and training officers, during which they followed a presentation on the graduating class. In his keynote speech, Army General Said Chengriha expressed his congratulations to the military personnel and to the Algerian people on the occasion of Eid al-Adha feast and National Day.
أود أن أجدد لكم وللشعب الجزائري قاطبة تهاني الحار بمناسبة عيد الأضحى المبارك، كما لا يفوتني أن أتقدم لكم ومن خلالكم إلى كافة مستخدمي الجيش الوطني الشعبي بمناسبة استعداد بلادنا للاحتفال بالذكرى 61 لعيد الاستقلال واسترجاع السيادة الوطنية.
He prayed God Almighty to preserve the security and stability of our country and conferred to our people's national army, under the leadership of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, the means to reinforce its strength and operation availability, allowing it to accomplish its missions and defend the country and citizens.
الموكلة له من أجل الدفاع عن أمن الوطن والمواطنين. هذه الجاهزية التي نعي.
Adding that they are convinced that this availability relies on the human factor imbued with national values.
المشبع بقيمه الوطنية والجمهورية والمؤهل تأهيلا عاليا علميا ومعرفيا وعسكريا.
He then highlighted the importance granted by the High Command of the People's National Army to the field of training, including the War Higher School.
إن المدرسة العليا الحربية تشكل بحق قطبا تكوينيا وتعليميا رفيع المستوى.
The Army General underlined that this higher school is a training pool of high level that allows our armed forces to respond to the ambitions of our army and take full responsibility of their noble assigned missions, especially that we are now witnessing immense changes in the world that threaten the security and political stability of states, adding that among the major objectives of the military training is the issue of quality, which has become a necessity to reach professionalism and scientific military development.
مسايرة وتيرة التطور المتسارع الذي تعرفه العلوم العسكرية والدراسات الاستراتيجية، بما يكفل التحضير المميز لنخابنا العسكرية.
تحية التقدير واحترام لقياداتنا العسكرية العليا.
For his part, the head of the War Higher School, Major General Hamid Fakan, recalled the paramount interest granted by the High Command of the People's National Army to the training system in general and to the Higher School of War particularly. An audiovisual presentation was then made on the school's activity of the year 2022-2023. The graduates then obtained their results and diplomas. While the class bear the name of Martyr Hamdawi Hamidou. At the end of the ceremony, the representative of the graduating class delivered a speech. The Army General then visited the teaching staff where he followed a presentation on end-of-studies projects presented by officer students of different forces. Finally, the Army General honored the family of Martyr Hamdawi Hamidou before signing the Golden Register of the school.
Of the festivities marking the 61st anniversary of Independence and Youth Day, a mobile application bearing the name of History of Algeria 1830-1962 was officially launched. This application allows users to explore the different stages of our national history in a clear and simple way, offering a symbolic content that reflects the glorious history of Algeria and its civilization under the supervision of researchers, academics, and specialists. To the Arab game now to inform you that the national football team sustained a goalless draw with the Omani side in their opening game held in Annaba Stadium. In the same context, the delegations taking part in the upcoming Arab Games keep arriving to take part in this major sport and Arab event. All the facilitations have been granted to Algeria's guests to ensure the success of the tournament, coinciding with the celebrations of the Independence Day on July the 5th. The first group of Algerian pilgrims to the holy site of Islam arrived after performing Al-Hajj rituals. The pilgrims expressed their relief and appreciation of all the means and efforts deployed to take care of them. Abroad, 5 nights of violence in numerous French cities, and the country is still the scene of large demonstrations since Tuesday when a police officer shot dead the teenager Nail. More details with Najah Tayyar.
France witnessed a 5th night of violence after the death of the teenager Nail, shot dead at a police checkpoint last Tuesday near Paris, following his refusal to comply to the instructions. The violent attack on the Ram car, who targeted the home of the mayor of L'Haÿ-les-Roses in Val-de-Marne on Saturday night, provoked the unanimous indignation of the political class. After another night of riots, the shock caused by the attack on the elected official overshadowed the decline in violence observed on Saturday night in many cities in France. The spiral of violence that is shaking the country is becoming more and more alarming. In an attempt to stem it, many municipalities imposed a curfew and public transport networks have been closed earlier than expected, in particular Île-de-France buses and trams from 9 p.m. From the second night in a row, the minister renewed a system of 45,000 police officers and gendarmerie elements, including 7,000 in Paris and the inner suburbs, and substantial reinforcements in South Marseille as well as center and east of Lyon, the main agglomerations affected by these riots. As a reminder, the death of the teenager caused riots in several cities in France. A total of 427 people have been arrested, including 162 in Paris and its inner suburbs. The Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin tweeted, "Quieter night thanks to the forces of the order's resolute action." But the question of the emergency remains longer abroad, and several European countries, including Great Britain, have recommended their citizens not to travel to areas affected by the spiral of violence.
In Palestine, 3 Palestinians were arrested by the Zionist occupation during search and raid operation of many houses in the occupied West Bank and Al-Quds, while many military checkpoints are installed at the entrances of many localities. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry condemned the daily invasions by settlers with the support of occupation forces. And as usual, we wrap up our news with sightseeing tour to Tasil Najah to discover the enchanting beauty of this southern region. Najah Tayyar once again.
Many people believe that summer is not the ideal season for the Sahara tourism. It must be said that it is a preconceived idea due to the geographical location of the Hogar and Tassili that have a moderate climate during the season. Same as Janet, with its favorable climate, it receives tourists even in this time of the year. It doesn't look like you're in the Sahara. The temperatures are cool and acceptable. Sightseeing this land of discovery and adventure on a four-wheel drive crossing the sand dunes is a thrilling experience that cannot be missed. After 5,000 kilometers traveling from Slovenia to Romania, I landed in Janet. I discovered extraordinary places. I intend to come back again. It is really fantastic and the nature is stunning here. I feel the peace and the direct contact with the desert nature seizes me. The Qusur of Janet and its exceptional architectural heritage provide a unique view to the region's history. This village is very different than the ones we have visited before. I love it and I'm enjoying every minute of my time here. Janet, an exceptional tourism destination. It attracts visitors all along the year from all over the world to live experiences that can't be found anywhere else.
The end of tonight's bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.